Many thanks for joining us here on News Today to our very first story this afternoon. And pupils of Ahia Basic School at Ningo here in Accra are forced to bath seawater to class because the only pond serving the community has dried up. Teachers in the community are also forced to go to class without taking their bath. Now, the situation follows an acute water shortage that has hit the area for weeks. Kwetinate has more.
We want to find out how is the water crisis here affecting education from where you are standing as the head of the school.
It makes the children comes to the school late. Since they go to Ningo to look for water, they carry gallons on trucks. Before they come to the school, it is almost 9 o'clock.
When are they supposed to report to class?
7 o'clock. By 7:30, they should be in class.
So how has this affected their learning, especially their grades?
When they come to the school, they are almost tired, so they will be sleeping in the classrooms. They don't learn as expected of them because of being so much tired.
Has this in any way contributed to truancy as well? Because the child comes, he's tired, he wants to sleep in the house rather than coming to class.
It is true. The enrollment we are having now is low because some of them, if they come to the school and then you try to punish them a little, then they stop the school. They feel like being at home than being in the school. So we rather go down to plead with them before some of them are in the classroom now.
As a teacher, this water situation makes us come to school either late or at times you will not bath. You only wash your feet and head and arms and come to school. So those of us who are married, our wives will call us that they have bought some water in the house. Then we go during break and go and bath. Then we come back to the school again.
So you are saying that many teachers hardly take their bath because of the water crisis that has hit this community?
Exactly. About 80% of the teachers normally don't bath in the morning because there's no water around. So we try to come to the school early and do our duties so that when we hear the water has been sent to our houses, then during break we go back and take our bath and quickly come back to school.
So give me a sense, how is the feeling like coming to class, you haven't taken your bath, you are teaching under that stress? Give us a sense, how is the feeling like?
You feel bad because at times when getting closer to the children, you don't feel comfortable because you know you've not taken your bath. But because you need to do the work, you have to come early and then do your work till when water is ready, you go back and bath and come back.
We go to the sea and bath and come and buy pure water. And when we come and buy pure water, we pour it on ourselves and we wear school uniform and come to school.
And how does that make you feel, not getting clean water to bath before coming to class?
That makes us not feel comfortable when teacher is teaching.
So what would you want the government to do about the situation currently?
We say, give us pipe-borne water.
At Winneba, students and other residents are also struggling to get water as the Ghana Water Company shuts down the water treatment plant in the town because the water source there has dried up. Correspondent Richard Kojunyakon has more.
Well, the situation in the region generally is not good at all, but it is very dire at Winneba because the water treatment plant has been shut down. The water Ayensu River is drying up because that is where the Ghana Water Company gets its water from. It's drying up. And according to the Ghana Water Company, the activities of farmers and fishermen have contributed to the present situation that they find themselves. What's happening is that there is generally no water, and so they have resorted rationing the water to schools hospitals, other individuals in the household. Now, some of the workers would have to trek to as far as to Swedru, carrying gallons and things in order to get water. So the situation is like, if you get water today, you are not going to get water tomorrow because there wouldn't be any stuff for you. And schools are really feeling the pinch because the students have started buying pure water, especially students of the University of Education, Winneba. Even though the Ghana Water Company, in collaboration with the District Assembly, they have teamed up and they are using some tankers to supply these schools and the trauma hospital, specialist hospital at Winneba. So generally, the situation is very bad. But if you even come to Cape Coast, the Brimstone River is also drying up, and the Setrahima water treatment plant, where the biggest, is also suffering because there are a lot of galamsey activities ongoing. Then the Ghana Water Company says that it has to spend millions of Ghana cedis in order to treat the water. But as it stands now, that place is also even drying up. And so it will get to a point that, during the year 2000, schools in Cape Coast and other parts of the region would have to shut down because there was no water for the students and other residents. So, Prince, that is the general situation as far as the central region is concerned.
So quite a dire one, it appears. But really, has there been any response from, say, the Ghana Water Company? Has the Member of Parliament for, the area or anything made any interventions whatsoever? Really?
Well, the Member of Parliament, Afenyomaken, says that he is going to table this one in Parliament because it has reached a crisis point, and if care is not taken, something untoward might happen, because if cholera breaks out, then the entire region would be affected. And so that is for the Member of Parliament, and he is mopping up some support in order to get the problem resolved. But for the Ghana Water Company, I have been speaking with the regional chief minister of the company, and he says that, well, they have been embarking on education of in respect of that for farmers and fishermen to stop doing some activities at the banks of the river in order not to bring the situation to this point. But I think try as they do, the farmers and the fishermen will still go on with that one. And so they have been, according to his words, they have been cracking an old dam, and that is where they get the water to supply to these people at Winneba.
Okay, so that's an interim measure, I suppose.
Exactly. Because according to him, if it does not rain, there's going to be a serious situation on our hands. And if there is no water, the entire region will be in a serious mess.
Wow. The Water Resources Commission has meanwhile dismissed suggestions that the shortage of water currently plaguing the country is due to the drying up of some water bodies, including the River Densu. Now, according to the Principal Basins Officer, Mr. Roland Abraham, the problem is as a result of the poor implementation of the special distribution process, which he says is a national one. Now, he was speaking to my colleague Mawavio Usoboji on the AM show earlier today.
When you look at the Volta River system, which actually covers about 70% of this country, it is not dry. When you get there now, you find out that we have a lot of water.
Can we say same about Densu?
Densu is dry at the upper reaches, but when you get to the down area where we have the Wager Lake, we have a lot of water.
So if we have a lot of water, but we still don't have access to potable water? Well,
it is about spatial distribution, and this is what we have been trying to engineer over the years. Currently, the situation is not that bad around the upper reaches where we have some interbasin water transfer from the Volta to less endowed water resource areas. We are treating water actually at the Volta area and then transferring it. We call it interbasin water transfer currently. When you look at this document I have here, this is the Densu River Basin Plan, the Integrated Water Resource Management Plan. There are some proposals in it which recommended that because of the ever growing populations within the basin, we need to transfer water from other sources. And then even within the same basin, such as what I'm describing now, at the lower end of it, we have the Wager Lake. And the Wager Lake was actually built to also serve the purposes of irrigation that take a lot of water. And this is not happening because the state farms...
because it's still in the book.
The state farms are down, and we have a lot of water. What is treated for more than 50% of Accra, we could also pump raw water, you know, to the Nsawam area, Nsawam Edrejir area, which will save this situation. These recommendations and then views are all there, and it is...
Who is supposed to act on that?
Well, it is a national affair. You know, I will not put it...
Oh, there should be. You know who is supposed to implement
I will not put it
the fine things you have in that document of yours.
Well, I will not put it at the doorstep of Ghana Water Company, because sometimes some decision will have to be taken beyond the Ghana Water Company, beyond the commission, to actually put in the infrastructure that will actually transport or transfer water from, well endowed places or the richer places to the less privileged.
Now, residents of Adreji Zongo in the eastern region have thrown caution to the wind as they have refused to treat contaminated water there before use. Now, the residents either have no time or cannot afford to treat the water due to the high cost associated with the process. Matilda Pomega is in Nsawam and joins us now over the telephone lines with a lot more. So, Matilda, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Now, the first thing is, how is it that these residents appear not bothered, really, by the possibility of contracting cholera by refusing to treat this source of water of theirs?
Yes, I've been to Nsawam Edrejir Zongo specifically, and if you know this area very well, it's not everybody who is well-to-do to be able to afford a bag of sachet water to be using for their daily activities. So many of them rely on the Dames River, which is currently polluted, for all their activities, which includes cooking as well. So I've been to some of their homes and been trying to find out from them what processes that they go through in order to get this water where they're getting this water from for their cooking. And surprisingly, two of the women are engaged in two different homes. These women do not treat the water. One just uses sieves. I don't know if you know the process that one goes through in preparing porridge. That is the sieve she uses to treat her water. One, because she cannot afford to buy a sachet water for her cooking, because according to her, throughout the cooking process, the water boils itself. So there is no need she has to incur extra costs for her to treat this water. The other person also does not have the time to go through this process of getting alum, chlorine, or whatever it is, treat the water before the use. So this is currently the situation that the residents find themselves. Though they know it's very dangerous to go through that process, but they do not have any other means. This is the only source of water for them. So government has assured that there's some free water supply. The water supply is not getting to everybody. So it's just a few of the residents at Edrejir who are currently benefiting from this free water supply from government in Jehene.
Okay, so we're also told that they were to expect a delegation from Parliament. I'm speaking of a delegation from the Parliament's Committee on Water Resources, that they were supposed to be in this community today to assess the situation and probably make some recommendations and an intervention of some sort. Has this happened?
Yes, Chenchehini. Currently with them, with the Honorable Emmanuel Bedra. He is also a member of the Select Committee, and they arrived here about 20 minutes ago, and they've been going around to assess things for themselves. And one thing we should mention that the Select Committee is very disappointed at what is happening. I have with me Honorable Emmanuel Bedra to tell me exactly, Honorable, why are you disappointed at what you have seen and heard from the engineers so far?
Well, Matilda, we are disappointed because we all know water is life. And just as you mentioned, you've been to about 2 homes and you see women fetching water from all sources and not treating the water. So it means that their life will be shortened because of their health hazard that's associated with the water that they're using. We came here with the assumption that the new facility that we provided loan we have approved in Parliament will be working.
Belgium loan.
That's the Belgium loan. And you can see the facility here, just lying here, and they're telling us there's no water in the catchment for them to be able to treat for the people of Islam to drink or to have access to water. Then why have you provided this facility?
This facility forms part of the project, and they have done the accessibility studies, and what they are saying is this is supposed to help them treat the water to serve their communities around. Why you
the question I asked one of the engineers is that, don't you need water for it to be treated? You don't even have the water for it to be treated. So what form the basis of the feasibility studies? Now, in project management, you have feasibility as part of the component of your project lineup or project value chain. Now, the question I asked is that have they done due diligence? Have they done what we call cost-benefit analysis? Have they done any alternative measures to see whether this alternative A will work for this pump house or alternative B will work for this pump house? They've not done any of those things. Yes, they claim they have done it. If they've done it, do they have any data to show that Densu is drying up, therefore we will use different methods to be able to...
What they are saying is that this is a natural occurrence. They didn't expect it. When they were putting this up, they knew that the water in Densu would be able to serve the community. But this is where we are now, where the water has dried up.
That's our disappointment, Matilda, because in the 21st century, you cannot tell us that you are depending on natural occurrences. There are factors that, we know if it rains, so that doesn't mean you're going to be dependent on rains forever. Then why are you engineer? Why have you been trained scientifically to be able to, to look for occurrence? This has not been done. That's not disappointing.
One of the short-term plans they are also doing is to distill the river, which is also choked now.
We have seen it. They are distilling, but still we don't have water in the catchment area. So what do we do?
So I'm sure you are sending a very bad report to Parliament.
Well, my chairman all of us will decide at a committee level, and then we'll inform speakers of what next to do. As we are thinking of inviting Water Commission resources and Ghana Water Company to the committee to brief us,
And you've gotten the briefing here already?
We've seen it, so they cannot come and tell us in a story. I am disappointed, Matilda, and I believe that my other colleagues are disappointed.
Okay, Chenchen, I've been speaking with Honorable Emmanuel Bedra. He's a member of the Select Committee that just visited in Sawam Waterworks to assess the situation for themselves. Okay. And clearly, most of them here are disappointed at what they are viewing and hearing here.
Indeed. Matilda, we'll keep our eyes on that. Many thanks for that update. And let's still stay with this water crisis. And the crisis that has hit in Sawam in the eastern region, we are told, could ease by next week if ongoing efforts by the Water Resources Ministry to strike underground water yields positive results. Now, the drying of the Densu River has made it impossible for the Ghana Water Company to pump water to homes for several weeks now. Deputy Minister for Water Resources Samuel Yawedu says the issue is out of their hands for now, but they are looking up to God for a solution. He, however, wants the District Assembly to do more to protect water bodies in their areas.
We also must take it as our responsibility that we have a role to play by ensuring that we abide by the law. So we don't have to wait for somebody to come, sorry to say, slap us before we have to do the right thing. You get it? Yeah.
So it is our many projections as to when we expect the river to recover and for things to get back to normal?
Yeah, I wish I'm God, and I wish that the rains can come today, even as we speak now, because we expect the rain, but since this is nature, it will be difficult for me to predict.
But your scientists should be looking at a certain duration and be doing some predictions. They may not be God, but obviously through their scientific research, they should have something to tell you on that.
Yeah, the scientific research is saying that by this time we should have recorded 2 rains at the Tiwa forest. And sometimes, with all our scientific predictions, we may not be able to beat nature. Do you get it? So you may predict scientifically that this is what is expected to happen. But if it doesn't happen like that, like what are we experiencing now? I think if you talk to the weather forecasters, they would have told you that by this time we should have recorded some rains. But this is nature. You can't do anything about it. You get it? Yeah. So predictably, they expected that we should have recorded some rains now.
You're watching News Today here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. We're taking a break. We'll return shortly with some more. Don't go away. Many thanks for staying on News Today. To some more stories now. The New Patriotic Party is demanding the full payment of some 3.6 million Ghana cedis used in the rebranding of some Metro Mass buses in the country. Now, the party, in a media briefing a while ago, said the NDC government ought to refund monies due the citizenry after it was established that a contract awarded Smarties did not offer value for money. Let's take some excerpts from the just ended briefing by the opposition MPP.
Progress. Now, this morning we'll like to look at the issue of the bus branding and use it as a typical case to see the problem that we have with fighting corruption in this country, and also to make some suggestions as to the way forward regarding this particular case and also corruption in general. Now, the bus branding case is a clear example of bad decision making in government, a waste of taxpayers' monies, non-transparency, and a certain attitude of government to fighting corruption that will not help us. The decision itself to take taxpayers' monies to put the photographs of President Mahama and the former presidents, that decision, in the face of the problems that affect the ordinary Ghanaian, to take the decision that we are going to take money and apply it to this venture of putting photograph of John Mahama, the president, and other past presidents, is totally wrong. And it shows a certain mindset that is out of touch with the reality of the problems of the ordinary Ghanaian. That space, or those spaces on the buses, could actually have been hired out to advertising companies who would have brought in the big companies to do advertising, and they would have been paying monies to the taxpayer. Now, the space is taken, and they decided to put photographs of the president and past presidents. What benefits would the ordinary Ghanaian get? Now, by putting the photographs on the buses, you deprive the taxpayer of the monies, the advertising monies that would have come to the taxpayer. But even more seriously, after putting the pictures there, you would rather go and take taxpayers' monies to pay for those pictures. So the taxpayer is losing.
Away from that now, and the alleged murderer of a Boko North Member of Parliament, Joseph Boakye Danko, has been remanded into police custody following a court ruling earlier this morning. Let's get on to the phone lines now and speak to join his reporter, Raymond Nakwa, who was in court and now joins us with more on what transpired this morning. So, Raymond, what exactly happened in court today?
We do know that the prosecution was actually now under the control of the police CID, brought the gentleman for the first time to court in an attempt to some extent, escape the 48-hour rule, which stipulates that you cannot keep somebody in jail without trial, without a charge, for more than 48 hours. But beyond this, the first detail we have with the gentleman, the first time confirmed sources within the police officially says to us who he is, a 19-year-old unemployed young man who's a school dropout who lives at Agbogblosi, where the girlfriend is the one the police is suspecting committed the crime. The gentleman right from the beginning sought to make an intervention by telling the court he's sorry, he had no interest in killing anybody, he just wanted to go and take something, and he knows he has done something so wrong. But the judge interrupted that particular statement from the gentleman and proceeded to let the procedure follow. Now, the man who is in charge of the police prosecution, acting for and on behalf of the chief prosecutor, Francis Barr, stated that the very first time the gentleman went to this particular house was the day he went there to commit the crime. The incidents traveled in this particular path, that he had a catapult, he also had with him a knife and a cutter. So he found his way into the building by breaking through one of the overhead fences on the walls of the MP, then jumped into the building, took the ladder from within the building, then came to the MP's room. Struggled with the MP, who was not asleep at that time, and the first time he pulled the knife through the palm of the MP, giving him a deep cut in the palm of the MP. then proceeded to stab the MP 3 times, 2 on top of the right chest breast, and then again by his neck. So the third one, the police suspect sent the MP to his grave. So that's the chilling details of what the police have been given of what really happened today. Then he left the house together with the phones and also one tablet of the Honorable Member of Parliament. So this is what we are told happened in the house. Until they went to arrest him, he confessed to this particular crime.
Okay. Many thanks for that particular update. Raymond Aqua, who just brought us details of what transpired in court this morning when the alleged murder of the Bwako North MP was actually sent to court. We've been told that he's been remanded into police custody and he's scheduled to reappear in some 2 weeks' time. Time now for some business here on News Today with John Amwako.
And now time for business. And the Finance Ministry is impressing on manufacturers and importers of selected products that attract excise duties the need to welcome the excise tax stamp policy. The products in question include tobacco, alcoholic and non-alcoholic carbonated beverages, as well as bottled water for now. The policy, which requires the stamps are affixed on these items, is expected to be implemented from the 7th of March. A senior budget officer at the Tax Policy Unit of the Finance Ministry, Julian Harry Thompson, tells Joy Business the economic benefit of the policy cannot be overemphasized.
Basically, what this tax stamp seeks to do is to help government monitor its revenue, protect the revenue, if I must say, and also cut down on most of the illicit trades that we have concerning excisable products, and also stop the smuggling. So these are some of the measures we come out with, to have a stamp where it will be very difficult for people to counterfeit, have it affixed on this excisable product, and
how
make
exactly
sure.
Would this policy?
If a company like, I don't want to mention any company's name, but if a company producing, let's say beer, produces about 10,000 bottles and pays revenue on it, you have the stamp, you know that a company buys about 10,000 stamp from you, and at the end of the day, government is expecting 10,000 equivalent revenue from that aspect. It makes enforcement and compliance very easy. It makes monitoring also very easy to do. You don't need to. No, companies do not have the leeway to send products in the market without the stamps on it, because every product in the market, you know that you need a stamp on it. Then once you have a stamp on it, you know it has been accounted for in one way or the other.
Barring any last-minute challenges, a detailed plan for cleaning Tema oil refineries' debts should be implemented from next week. Joy Business understands managers of the refinery are finalizing an arrangement with some banks and in and outside Ghana in this regard. George Yafe has more.
Sources say the debt stood at around $650 million as of 2011. Should be reaching over $800 million by now. According to persons with an understanding of TOR's workings, the debts came about as a result of some credit facilities extended to the refinery to import crude, which the institution has not been able to pay, but has reached this level as a result of interest buildup and other charges on the loan. For many, if this debt is cleared, it will make available enough funds to the two banks these monies are owed, that is EcoBank and GCB, so they can lend to other institutions and individuals that badly needs credit. According to some analysts, the development could lead to some marginal reduction in the cost of credit in the country, looking at the current standing of GCB and EcoBank in the banking industry. Again, it could lead to consistent supply of petroleum products onto the market, since it will improve the financial position of TOR so it can get into the full business of importing crude so it can refine it into finished products for the market.
And in a related development, petroleum product refined by Tor is expected to be released onto the market by the end of this month, instead of an initial timeline of this week. That'll be it for business. My name is John Kojo. But for more, you can join me on the marketplace at exactly 1 to 1:30 for more business. My name again, John Kojo. Bye-bye.
You're still here on News Today. My name is Benedict Toos. Let's talk some sports now. Hearts-of-Oak are camping in Akuse to finalize preparations for their Ghana Premier League opener on Sunday against New Dibiasa. Now, the Phobians move straight to camp after playing Dreams FC on Sunday in the wood to recommission the venue. Now, Trell, Kenneth Okoro, Samudin, Ibrahim, Isaac Mensah, and Paul Aqua, who missed last Sunday's friendly, have been training with the club. Here is club spokesperson Opariado.
Yes, we are currently camped somewhere in the eastern region because we believe that we need a different atmosphere from what we enjoyed here. We have to take the players through the last bit of our preparation, and that will need a lot of concentration and a serene atmosphere. Whilst we are there, we also want to let the players understand that there are certain aspects of the game that we have to build upon. So once that the coaches are able to get that inculcated into the players, then it means our work will be secured. Then when we start the competition, everything probably will go well for us.
So that was Accra spokesperson of Pariad, and I will still remain with local clubs. And president of Techiman City, Charles Kojo Intim, popularly known as Mickey Charles, says the uncertainty of their promotion to the Ghana top flight is likely to support their mega championship deal with oil and marketing firm Nasona. Now, the Techiman-based side is facing demotion after the ethics committee found them guilty of bribery and match fixing, but they have appealed the ruling and filed for a stay of execution. Let's hear from Mickey Charles.
We have ethics committee ruling coming in and out. I mean, don't forget, this is about the third time we have had such a ruling. It makes potential sponsors sit back a little bit and then look at what is going to happen. It's been very difficult, but I trust the fans of Techiman City. They'll come to the stadium, they'll fill the stands, and at the end of the day, we're going to make some money from the stands as well. Like I told you, it's been 50-50 because the last time I spoke to the managing director of National Oil, he was ready to give me a check on Tuesday, the 2nd of February, and then the ruling came out on the 3rd of February. So, I mean, any businessman will be very, very, very careful dishing out such an amount of money. Only 4 days ago, Sasso insecticide was in Techiman. Zigiza, who is the brand ambassador for Sasso, was in Techiman. We had a few discussions and hope they are going to fulfill their promise and support Techiman City.
And that's how we wrap up on News Today this afternoon here on Joy News. My name is Kwabna Chencheni. Remember, there's a lot more news when you visit myjoyonline.com. John Amakon is standing by with the marketplace. Many thanks for your company.